Hey you guys, so I just wanted to do a little garden tour today. I've done gardening for many years now, but this is the first year that I've been able to have a raised bed that I built myself, actually two of them, and I have a front garden area just a little bit right beside our front door where I have a few things growing. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, you guys, so you can see over here, I've got two beds. The one right in front of me here, I've got a few different things growing. So this is a little zucchini here, this plant, which is getting quite a bit bigger. I want to try to train him up against the side here, so yeah, I might try to tether him a little later on today to see if I can get it to start going up the side of this vertical trellising, and eventually I'm actually going to put up an even taller trellising to give that some more space to grow. And then these little guys are, there's actually three of them right now. We'll see if I really need that many. Those are winter squash, a black, Futsu black. And so for these little green zucchini, it'll produce little zucchini. They're about that big. But a lot of things this year, well, I had a few obstacles, like this bed over here. Both of these raised beds, my husband helped me. He built them. You know, we got the wood at Home Depot, but this was all during the quarantine time, so you know, some things were harder to get, and in fact, even some of the seeds that I planted were harder to get. It took some weeks for them to come in. So that's part of why, you know, I planted these guys here a bit on the later side. Something came in. There were actually three of these guys here, but I don't know if it was squirrels or birds that got in here and then tore up two of them. So I put up some netting. That's what you see here after that happened, to let them get a little bigger. And since then I've taken it down because it was kind of obstructing this little guy from being able to grow up more. So they seem to be doing okay now. I think maybe some insects, or not insects, some of the, you know, squirrels and birds might have been trying to dig around in there to get any more seeds that might have been in the ground. At this point, I think that's all that's there. So hopefully this guy will last. I'm excited to get some little zucchinis out of him. Yeah, so here I have quite a lot in this bed. Some of it's growing great. Some is like barely even starting, so we'll go through it. So right here I have tomato plants, and all of these I have pruned down. You can see here I pruned off all the bottom stems, and I've also been pruning off. You'll see these little bits in the middle here. I've been pruning those off as well, because I really wanted to have these grow on the trellis and have a lot of space in between all of the branches, and this is supposed to give a bigger yield. And in fact, even this vertical trellising that I've done here, I will probably add some more at the top once it starts to get a bit taller, but you know, that's what I've got for now, and it should do. As far as what kinds of tomatoes I've got here, these are green zebra, these two, and then these two here are golden nugget. So the green zebra, they'll be little plants, or not, I guess they'll actually be slightly larger tomatoes, but not huge ones, about this big. Beautiful striping of like green stripes. I'll put a little photo in here so you can see what they're gonna look like. But you can see, you guys, I'm excited. I'm starting to get here. Let's see if I can get it to focus on that. Yeah, I'm starting to get some little flowers. So that's pretty awesome. And this one over here, this is the gold nugget cherry. So this will be little tomatoes like that. But you can see here, I've got these blossoms and those, so it's really starting to take off. And this one over here This is another gold nugget. You can see that all of the 4 of these plants are actually doing quite well. These are actually plants that I had from, or seeds I should say, that I had from, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 years ago. So it's pretty amazing that they even came up. You know, I had a lot that didn't come up. These over here are 2 indigo blue cherry tomatoes. This one, you know, it's almost not even tall enough yet for me to trellis it, but it is growing pretty healthfully. I'm going to prune that guy a little more probably today. A rogue, some kind of squash. These guys just started sprouting up, and I don't know, I left that one. I might take it back out though. And yeah, that's another indigo cherry, and I just staked that one. So the gold nuggets, they're small. They'll get about that big and be golden in color. These indigo blue are kind of a beautiful reddish black, and they'll get a little bigger, about that big. But yeah, these guys, I was a little worried. When I planted them, they were smaller than the others. Wasn't sure how well they'd come up, but they're doing all right. I think I'll still get some yield out of them, but it looks like it's going to take a little longer. And looking down here, I had a bit of a rough time. I tried planting some basil from seed, but you can see, I don't know if I've overwatered or what the problem is, but it's very yellow and it's not growing very fast. Here's some more from that same, you know, from seed basil. So I'm not sure, you guys. That might be just something that's not doing too well. This is actually something I tried after these little guys weren't doing very well. I went ahead and did a cutting from a plant that I got from Costco. And so I still have that original plant, it's inside. And so this is one of 2 cuttings that I did. I allowed the roots to grow just on my windowsill in a glass of water. And after about at least 2 weeks, I probably could have done it sooner, I went ahead and put this guy in the ground just yesterday. It is looking a little yellow, but it rained really hard last night, so it might just be slightly shocked, but it's still looking better. It's got more leaves to begin with, and it's still looking better than the ones I started from seed. I'm starting to learn that starting things from seed, you guys, is actually it's actually quite difficult, especially for herbs. So yeah, live and learn. But anyway, maybe I'll do more transplant cuttings and things like that in the future for the herbs. All right, anyway, moving back to the garden. These are all pepper plants. There's this little leaf in there. They're not getting bigger much, like very quickly. I put in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then this is just a cluster of them, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not getting very big. So I'm trying to figure that out. I think I might try adding in some more fertilizer. It's also possible that the earth they're in is too dense. Maybe they're not getting enough sun. Maybe I'm overwatering it. I have been trying to water this bed more because I've got some, what I'm hoping is parsley and some marigold seeds here. You see these little sproutlings here. So I've been trying to water enough to get those to come up. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. But hey, at least the tomatoes are doing great. All right, so we're gonna move over to this bed. And here's something I'm really excited about, you guys. I'm gonna take a step back, and I don't know if you can see this, but I have got an arch. This is my first time doing some serious vertical trellising. So this arch should really be able to support some of my plants and give them lots of space to grow. I'll be able to easily pick things from them, and it's just beautiful, right? Like once the plant is over that, it'll create a little shade, a little kind of arbor. So I'm really excited about that. And in this space, I have got what should be a midget melon. So this melon it should be like you could hold it in your hand when it grows to full size, about that big. And I did buy this seed online, and it took a few weeks to come in, so I was really looking for a melon that would have a pretty short growing stage and I'd be able to get fruit kind of quickly. So you can see this one's a little stunted. I don't know if we'll get that, but I planted enough seeds, so we've got, you know, it looks like at least 4 of these here. And yeah, I'm really hoping that it will grow up to the trellis, grow up over the trellis. So that's on this side. And then on this side over here, we've got a winter squash, Carnival. And this one's doing quite well as well. Got 2 of them here starting to put out these bigger leaves. But these are actually growing pretty quickly. Like I'm quite happy with that. The other great thing about the vertical trellising is it introduces a lot of air for the plants. And so a lot of issues like mildew or attacks by certain kinds of insects, it just won't be as susceptible to that. So that's nice. I do have some purple basil. Let's see if I can get it to focus on that little guy. There we go. So you can see he is still really little, but it's still alive. This is another thing that I'm just not sure about, you guys. I'm still learning. I've got another here. This is my second transplant from the cutting. You can see that it's so much bigger than what I have from seed. So learning experience. We've got some more sadly stunted pepper plants here, and you'll notice that this garden bed, even though I planted some of the same things, it really looks it looks like not at the same level of growth as the first one. There's 2 things going on here. One is that this bed just wasn't built up quite as much, and so I planted everything in here like at least a week, if not a week and a half or 2 weeks later than what I planted over there. And these plants were just the ones that were more ready, the strongest of everything. So I put them over there. That bed also, like we got the house here, so like that bed is getting quite a bit more sun. I originally was gonna put both beds on this side of the house right here, and kind of glad that I didn't do that, because I'm seeing that those over there are just doing so much more noticeably better, especially the tomatoes with that much sun. So I'm happy about that. We'll see. I mean, hopefully I'll still get some good tomatoes and stuff out of this bed. And if not, I might try planting some other things. But whatever, like these are all the seeds that I had, you know, it was something to experiment with. And I've got some of the same ones here, green zebra. This is, let's see, what have I got? 3 green zebra here. And then over there, more of the gold nugget. I only got 2 of the indigo to grow. So that's all I got of those. So I'm kind of glad they made it as far as they did. For this here, I actually am gonna put up some more wire in between these, and it's gonna form another small arch going this way. This is all in my head for now, and well, I guess you can see that will be just a smaller ground level bed, but I still have to dig up all of this gravel here, and I've got some that's some mulch some leaf mulch that I got for free from Arlington County, which is great that you can get that, because you guys, just filling up these beds was kind of, yeah, I mean, a bit expensive. I did do some, what do they call it, hugelkultur. So I did put some tree branches, and there's even a little of like the gravel and dirt in there, some of the natural soil, some leaf mulch from Arlington County, and then I also amended that with some potting soil and compost, all that stuff. And I actually got compost from, I think, at least 2 different neighbors. I asked for compost on Nextdoor, and we went and got their compost, and it was kind of wet, because I don't think they had added a ton of brown matter, which makes it more kind of loamy. But still, you know, mixed in with everything else, like it was fine. And it's going to add some needed nutrients into that soil. So yeah, I do have a few extra tomato plants here. Not really sure what I'm going to do with these guys, but this gold nugget, like they just, you know, I had grown them all this way in these solo cups. This is some pineapple ground cherry, and this was supposed to be a purple broccoli. Neither of those took off. These were both old seeds, you guys, at least 5 or 6 years old. So it's kind of amazing that any of these came up and made some great plants, but we did get that. But anyway, I may give this gold nugget one to a friend, might put it in a bigger pot. But yeah, anyway, getting back to this, this vertical trellis. So this will go over and form another pretty arch here going into that bed that I have not yet planted. But here you can see we've got a bush bean, a provider, and that's what, let's see, we've got another little sproutling, 2 strong sproutlings and 1 little baby one growing that'll come up on this side. And then over here I've got 1, 2, 3, I think all 4 of these are oh no, 6. We've got a lot of this kind, the pole bean that's growing here. So just based on what I read on the seed site, both of these guys should climb up the trellis here. So that's what I'm hoping to have happen. And they actually, once I planted them, I was amazed how quickly they started coming up and leafing. So yeah, I'm really hoping in a few months to get some lovely beans out of those. These are just something I already had, pots I already had. They're just filled up with dirt right now, but I am planning to put, I have some more of the purple basil. I've got some oregano cuttings and a few other things that, oh, and some spearmint. And yeah, spearmint, I'll definitely put that in one of these pots because I don't want the spearmint to go wild. But I'm a little worried about when to transition it. They're all inside on my windowsill right now. So I don't want to go too fast and kill them. We'll see what happens. It's actually, though it's sunny, it's actually pretty mild weather today and will be for the next few days. So I might plant it soon. Okay, so yeah, for this bed, you know, you guys, I don't have a ton of plans for it right now. I think probably I'll try to plant some things that are a little more shade friendly since this will be getting more shade because of the house. So probably some, you know, lower ground things. So maybe some more broccoli rabe or broccolini, some more, you know, spinach and lettuce if it'll do okay at this time. We'll see. And definitely some flowers. I think I might try putting some sunflowers along the back. I don't know how well they'll do without a ton of shade, but with a lot of shade, but whatever. I don't think I have much to lose. Okay, so we're coming around the front of the house now. And you can see here I actually planted a lot of, this was just what they called a wildflower mix. And you can see here that I got some really like quite pretty little flowers that are starting, all different colors. So I'm excited about that. Before in this, they're all kind of growing up right here in a row. Because right here I had a row of, it was supposed to be lettuce greens, but only the mustard greens came up. But they grew really tall, 3 or 4 feet tall. And I got some beautiful little yellow flowers. So those are all inside in some bouquets now. But I went ahead and pulled that up because they were flowering, and I really wanted lettuce greens here or spinach or something. And that's actually what I got here. This is all spinach here. And this is actually, I'm seeing it starting to flower at the top. I left it 3 or 4 days. So I think I'm gonna need to come in and definitely give this a whack and eat some of it, which is nice. That'll be my first harvest off of this spinach. And otherwise, I have got You can see here a row of Swiss Rainbow Chard. Right now they're just babies, but these can be harvested for a lettuce mix when they're quite small. So that's part of why I planted them just in a row there. This is one of the plants I got at Costco, and I've actually taken, I think I already took some trimmings. I'm trying to remember. I'll have to look at that. Maybe, you know, I think I used that on the chicken, you guys. So I don't think I have any trimmings. But they did advocate pruning it, and it really has become much more bushy. So the pruning works, you guys. Pruning it back, I would recommend that. There is another tiny little rosemary right there. That's from seed. Hard to grow those guys from seed, you guys. More like harder than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna revisit whether that's worth doing. These are some Pak Choi or Pak Choi purple variety. And then over here, this is a weed, goodbye. And that one should be the green variety. It's still looking pretty little. I don't know. We'll see what we get. And then these here are doing great. These are all Radish watermelon. And I have got a whole row of those going, you guys. So I'm a little nervous to pull one up because of course the bottom part there is what we're going for. I don't know if I can even see yet if it's growing enough, but anyway, it's doing well enough for me to see something, so that's nice. We have got some dill here. This is starting to be more visibly dill, and I've tried to plant the dill at least twice now. I think my seeds were too old and it just wasn't, maybe it was too cold, but anyway, old and cold. These are doing fine. I'm hoping that this actually is the pineapple tomatillo. These little seedlings you see here, there's two of them. It might just be grass. I don't know. But anyway, the seeds for the pineapple tomatillo are tiny. They are just minuscule. So yeah, I planted this before and had great luck with them, but it is just not coming up for me this year. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. And then here I've got some, this is broccolini, broccoli Aspabroc was the more technical name. And you can see that those are coming up. I'm getting a few, not a lot. Kind of thinking I should have planted them maybe even a bit more thoroughly. Oh, look, there's a little worm in there. Happy worm, that's good. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Let me know what you've got growing. I'm pretty excited to have a garden this year and have so many things growing and being able to grow even into the fall. I'm thinking of maybe putting up a little dome over these raised garden beds so that I can even grow into the early winter. We're here in Northern Virginia here, so that's our growing zone. So even into early December, some things I should be able to grow. So this will be the first time I'm able to do that. I did have a raised garden bed before when we were in a apartment building, but they shut off the water at about, I think it was the end of October. So I didn't have nearly as long a growing season as I'll have this year. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see what happens. I'll definitely post some more videos, so I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.